Welcome to Cultivate the Ordinary podcast, curious conversations for the anxious, frustrated, and bored. I'm Travis.
And I'm Jessie. So often we're held captive by screens, schedules, and media that's mind-numbing and polarizing. This leaves us seeing dimly through a fog. We want to spark more imagination and a better awareness of God's presence in the everyday.
Join us on a fun journey of discovery and curiosity as we look at the ordinary through the lenses of joy, wonder, beauty, and hope.
Welcome to Cultivate the Ordinary podcast. I'm Dakota, and I will follow you.
Well, yep, this is a really special episode. We have our little guy, Dakota, who's joining us today, who's 5 years old. Dakota's the youngest of our 5 kids. He's very assertive. He's never met a stranger, full of personality and curiosity. His wonder is off the charts. He is just an awe for beauty and cool things, and he just keeps us smiling all the time. He's really funny. He's really attuned to his emotions, too, and loves to talk about feelings. In today's podcast episode, we're going to talk about childlike faith and how kids often have the best perspective. Dakota has earned perfect attendance in summer school. He's the head of the debate team in our family, and he's responsible for 4 years of sleep impairment for mom and dad. So thank you for that gift.
Welcome, Dakota. Thanks for joining us. We're so happy you're on our podcast.
Is it fun to be here?
You have been talking about this for weeks.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No.
So a few ideas came to mind as far as Dakota's personality and, what he is really good at and the joy that he brings to our family. We wanted to talk about wonder and how he's just full of questions. He's constantly, as most 5-year-olds do, asking, what do words mean? Or how do you do that? Or why do you do that? Things like that. So we talked recently about what it means to wonder, and that's how you learn. So do you have any questions for us today, Dakota?
Yeah. Well, Jeremy is my best friend because I hug him so much.
Oh, so tell us who's Jeremy.
Uncle Jeremy is Steph.
Yeah, Uncle Jeremy and Steph, these are your daddy's brother and sister. So Jeremy, we've talked about on the podcast before, is one of Dakota's best friends. And he comes over here on the weekends sometimes. And you have a lot of questions when it comes to Jeremy. And then Jeremy asks you questions all the time, right?
Yeah, but Jeremy can't talk.
Not
That's
with
right.
his mouth, no. But how does he talk?
With his ears.
His arm.
So he moves his arm, right? And then we spell out letters of the alphabet?
Yeah, then he talks.
That's right. And then he gives us letters, and that's how he talks, right?
Good. Okay, so I have a question for you. If you, because you're so creative, could make or design a toy, a special toy, like you make it, what would it be? Hold on. What would it be and how would it work?
But Mama, Mama, can you buy a toy for me?
We're talking about if you could buy a toy that you made.
What would it look like? What would the toy be
What would
like
be
if
your
you made it?
favorite ideal toy?
Ninja Turtle.
You would make a Ninja Turtle toy? Okay. And how would it work?
I don't know.
Mom, you just sprung it on me. Come on, give me some time.
It's called Privacy.
So, okay.
Privacy?
Privacy.
You want privacy?
He wants
No, Privacy.
Promisey?
Okay.
What does that word mean? He likes to make words up too.
Primacy.
Sometimes.
I'm going to try that in Scrabble.
And it's fantastic because sometimes
Privacy.
we look them up and they actually are real words.
I think that's a good one to try in Scrabble. No one would know that's not a
It
word.
sounds like a real word. Okay, so currently Dakota is wearing a Spider-Man costume that he wore when he was 2 and 3. we're in our podcast studio, but it's also some storage, and he saw it up on the shelf, and he wanted to wear it, and so he squeezed into this little costume.
And now I'm gonna wear it like 5 days.
Yeah, who are you right now?
Cider-Man.
Cider-Man.
No, Cider-Man.
Yep, Spider-Man.
We joke about the way he says Spider-Man. It kind of sounds like Cider-Man, so it's like it's the superhero that only comes out in the fall, apparently, with hot chocolate and cider.
With apple cider
Cider-Man.
donuts. Right.
Yeah, I'm Cider-Man.
Well, speaking of superheroes, Dak, being the youngest in our family, is the first of the kids to be on the podcast. So there's some superhero bravery right there, Dak.
Oh, yeah. You, Dakota, have always been so brave when it comes to talking to adults. You talk to just about anybody. You've never met a stranger. Do you remember that time at the hotel when we were all by the pool and you wandered over to the hot tub to talk to a family? Remember that day?
What stranger?
Well, you went to talk to strangers, but you had so much personality, and you wanted to just know all about them and where they lived and what they did and things like that.
And play toys?
And you told them all about Spider-Man, and you told them all about your toys.
All right, Dak, why do you like talking to people so much?
Because it's so fun.
What makes it fun?
Because I like toys and I like talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you like talking about the things that you like.
Yeah.
I like to talking to people and it's so fun and I like it so much and I like it so much and I like it so much.
Have you been drinking my coffee this morning? All right, I've got another question for you. What is the funniest sound you can make? And what makes that sound? What makes that funny sound? He's thinking right now.
A flying monster.
A flying monster.
So where does sound come from?
Mom's throwing out a science
Where
question.
does it come from?
That question scared him. And I don't blame you for being scared by that question. It's a very intimidating question. Okay, so we're going to be switching gears here a lot, I think. We're going to talk about a little story that Dak wanted to share about where we were at our land in Tennessee, and I think we had just been having a bonfire. We're doing something outside, and then we came back up to the picnic table, and Dak was standing. We have a cabin with a little porch on it that's a little bit off the ground, and we were all sitting at the picnic table, and Dak was standing on the edge of this, edge of the porch side. And he's wanting Mom's attention, so he keeps saying, "Mom, Mom, Mom," right? And then all of a sudden I look over, and you fall off. So tell us about that story. Okay, so what happened?
When a beautiful round and we came back up, we were walking. And then I was on deck and I was calling, "Mom, Mom," and then all of a sudden I fell off.
It looked to me like you were almost reaching for Mom, trying to think that she would come catch you as you fell. Were you trying to? Did you think if you kind of jumped, she'd catch you?
Yeah, I thought Mommy catch me.
Yeah, I wish I had eyes in the back of my head and I could see that you were about to tumble or jump or fly or whatever happened.
Well,
but
fall,
right?
Well, if Mom would have been Cider-Man, maybe she could have
tried to catch you.
So then what happened to you when you fell? Well, you hit the ground, right?
Yeah,
Yep, hit your arms. And then what happened to your nose?
It's bleeding.
Ooh.
You got your first bloody nose.
That was a bloody nose. But you were tough after that, right?
Yeah,
you
had a lot of feelings.
You were a little dazed.
Can you tell me about what you were feeling after that happened?
That crying.
Right. You cried for a little bit and then you just got really quiet. Yeah, something else that you love to talk about is what you imagine in your mind. You are such a creative person, and as you think about what's coming up and what you're looking forward to, a lot of times you'll tell us, I imagine that Davey's coming over and we're going to go swimming and we're going to laugh and we're going to play together. And you can picture what it might be like.
Thank you, God. It's going to be a fun day. And I like it so much. Amen.
Oh, you prayed. Oh, that's so good. Well, since we love to share quotes on this podcast, speaking of imagination, by Albert Einstein, there's this quote that says, "The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination." And I think of that all the time with Dak is his creative and, mind, his intelligence comes out in the way that he plays, the way that he just relaxes and lets his imagination have no limits. So another quote by Henry David Thoreau is, "It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see."
I love that. It's what you see. And what you see that could be realized or created, or that's, what makes great art. I really think that there's a gift that kids bring to the world through their imagination and wonder, that being near them and being with them helps expand ours and takes us back to having childlike wonder. I know when I wrote the book Shiny Eyes, one of the things that even inspired some of that was when when you were a baby, I would be holding you, and I remember looking down at your face, and you just be looking up at the sky and seeing the sky and all the different things out, the trees, everything.
And I was in Mommy's tummy.
Well, this was after you were out of Mommy's tummy. This was when I was holding you, and you were looking at the world just with these big eyes, looking at all over. I just remember that helped me. That helped me as your dad, looking at that and going, wow, I want to look at the world more like you are. Wasn't that cool? That's how you helped be a teacher to me.
Yeah, because I was a baby.
Yeah, you were a baby, but you were still so full of wonder.
And there is something so unique about taking kids out in nature.
Is Davey coming?
Davey, he's wondering if his cousin Davey is coming later. Yep, he'll be here later.
Yeah. Are you going to play outside with them?
Mm-hmm. With my summer suit.
With your suit, yes.
And there's something special about trees and grass and leaves.
And ninjas.
What's your favorite thing about being outside? What do you like to do outside?
Jumping, trampoline.
Yeah, you love jumping the trampoline, don't you? With your grandma.
And also in my brothers.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun to be outside doing that, isn't it? Well, another really relevant topic in Dak's world is laughter and humor. And the comedian Victor Borge once said that laughter is the shortest distance between two people. You got a pretty good laugh, Dak. You want to show us your laugh?
That's good.
That is a pretty good take your breath away laugh. So kind of a funny story recently is, and this is a really bad dad thing for me. I don't know why I started to do this. I know my dad did goofy things, humor-wise with me. I'm like, this is so random. But for some reason one time I was joking around with Dak and I was putting tomorrow, today together, or today, tomorrow, and just saying things like that. Well, Dak picked up on it, and now his sense of time orientation is really messed up. Like, I think everything to him is either like it's today, tomorrow together, or tomorrow, today. So he's not distinguishing between today and tomorrow because Dad randomly was being goofy about this. So like even going to school now, like he's talking about his teacher, like about tomorrow, today, or today, tomorrow.
Well, and then this past May, when his birthday was coming up, it really kicked us in the butt because we were trying to tell him how many days or how many sleeps until his birthday would come. And we got one day away, and he just was losing it because we kept saying, it's just tomorrow. Like, you'll go to sleep, and then we'll wake up, and tomorrow is your birthday. And then you'll get presents, and friends will come over, and all these things. And he just would start sobbing because he was like, but it's today, tomorrow.
Remember that?
Today, tomorrow.
No, it's just today, not tomorrow today. Or it's tomorrow. Now I messed up.
Dad, I want to get that.
So what is something, Dak, that you are looking forward to? Like when you think about something you're really excited about. We have some friends coming over tonight. Not just your cousins, but some other friends.
Ooh.
And Davy is coming.
Davey's coming, and some people from our church, and all their kids are coming. We're going to have water play. How does that make you feel?
I'm sad.
You're excited. Good. So you're looking forward, and what do you hope?
I'm looking forward, and it's going to be Wall Play Day, and it's going to be fun.
Oh man, a water play day. That was all
Tonight
fun.
and tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, he just said tonight. He didn't say
Good.
the other part of that.
So when you think about things you're thankful for and that make you feel good inside, who do you have to thank for good things? Who do we thank?
I don't know.
Oh, you thank him a lot. Who do you
When
thank?
we pray?
Well, I'm very done.
I understand. You know, at 5 years old, I had a pretty short attention span too. So if you're very done, do you have a message for our friends? And then we can pray. Do you want to tell them, give them any advice? Okay, tell them what you want them to hear.
When you're sad, then you got to pray, and it's not gonna be sad anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really good and helpful.
Yeah, and you like to take really deep breaths too. That helps you.
All right, we're gonna end this podcast, and Dak is gonna pray for everyone. All right, Dak, go ahead and give us a prayer, please.
Okay. Thank you, God. It's gonna be a fun day with my cousins coming here, and we're gonna have a role play day. Amen. Thank you for a podcast with me.
Aw, you're welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Well, this was a fun podcast, a little bit random and all over the place, which is expected. Maybe that's probably how ours are anyway, but this was extra that way. But yeah, it was fun to have little Dak on and just hear just some of his thoughts and share that. You know, I just I look back at you know, him being our last child, and just I guess, and maybe a lot of you guys can relate this way of where I just remember as a dad that when he was a baby, so 5 years ago, and I'm almost 45, so when I was about 40, I guess the way that I saw him and his world and how it slowed me down, I guess in a different way that the other kids when I was younger, it just wasn't the same. I mean, I guess I was old enough, or maybe this is just me, but like where I just really appreciated more entering the world of him being, you know, and all his little quirks and wonder and curiosity and things like that. And so, you know, and some people are really maybe more naturally like just wired into all that and sort of present. I wish I was more that way. I certainly was present, but just looking back, you know, with some of the other kids being real young, I just, and maybe it was a pace of life too, but so that was a gift that Dakota's brought to my life. So I hope that, you know, for those of you that maybe are uncles or, you know, you have friends that have little kids, even if you don't, or if you have little kids, that, yeah, we can look at the childlike faith of our kids, you know, the questions they're asking, the way that they see the world, the way, you know, take a kid to the zoo and just hear the questions about all the animals, the way their eyes light up. I just think that, you know, children do bring a gift into the world of that curiosity and imagination and faith, and it is something that we as adults, we need from them. You know, I love the quote by C.S. Lewis when he talks about someday, you know, you'll be old enough to start reading fairy tales again. You know, I do find it really fascinating that it does seem to be there's something about, you know, and it's our pace of life and all the things we're doing in middle age and being, you know, in our, you know, 20s through, I don't even 50s or whatever, where you're just, the speed and the things we're focused on. And there just seems to be this then parallel of our early life, or then as in our later years, where we come back to this space of slowing down, being more present, maybe more contemplative, but maybe regaining some wonder again. And I know I certainly saw that in my dad and in his kind of final years. So as we wrap up this podcast, we always want to have, hopefully at least one practical takeaway or something really thought-provoking. And hopefully those moments are happening throughout, but hopefully there's at least a good takeaway. And today for me, and hopefully you listening, is just that, yeah, our children, have this gift of wonder and curiosity that I think when we can look at the world through their eyes and kind of immerse ourselves and slow down and just, kind of see the world as they see it at times, there's a gift of that gives something back to us to help us do the same. Don Harold had a great line when he said, "Babies are such a nice way to start people." Touche, Don. Well, God knew what he was doing there in the creation of humanity. Hopefully this has been a fun episode, and yeah, I just hope that today you can look at the sky and the world around you with new and fresh eyes and laugh more and grab some of that childlike curiosity and innocence that we seem to lose over time. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I hope you found something helpful, hopeful, or thought-provoking. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to any resources mentioned in the podcast. And we also have links in the notes for our own resources to check out. We would really love to hear from you. And we're also really grateful for your support by sharing the podcast episodes with your friends and family and leaving a rating and review. May we all regain and maintain our wonder, hope, and inspiration as we look at our ordinary through new and fresh eyes.